Hey everyone, how are y'all? This is my first live event. So I'm doing a live Q&A. I have got all the questions written down that I've already received. So if you have any other questions you want to put into the chat, feel free to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and start. And there's a gnat bothering me. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and start. So the first question. Oh my gosh, gnats. First question. Do you believe that everyone has the potential to practice magic, or is it only accessible to certain individuals? Personally, I think everyone can practice magic. I think that, like any other skill, some people might be more naturally good at it, but that anyone with practice can do it. What's the difference between paganism and Wicca? What are the different types of Wicca? Okay, so paganism is like Wicca is a type of paganism. So paganism is like the big umbrella term, and there's different types of paganism, and Wicca is one of the types of paganism. And then within Wicca, there are several types that I know of. I know there's like Gardnerian, Alexandrian, Dianic. There's eclectic Wicca. Um, yeah. Where did the Book of Shadows come from? So the term Book of Shadows was created by the creator of Wicca, whose name was Gerald Gardner, and it was created in the 1940s or maybe the early 50s. Does paganism and Wicca benefit your life? Also, what is your favorite part of being a witch? Oh, how does paganism and Wicca benefit your life? Sorry. For me, it really gives me a sense of a greater purpose, and I feel like it helps me have a feeling like a sense of control over my own life. It's a very freeing feeling and allows me to be myself and set my own rules rather than having to follow rules of a religion that somebody else set up that I may not fully agree with. Was there a moment that set you on your magical path? Sort of yes and no. I don't want to say there was like one exact moment, but I was introduced to it through a friend when I was in elementary school. And so that's kind of when I first learned about it and how I started kind of on my path. How long have you been a pagan witch? Could you share your experience becoming a witch and why? I've shared my experience before, but I will do so again briefly. I have officially been a pagan witch since I was 9 years old, although I kept it a secret for a very long time from anyone like my family and people because I knew that them being Christians, they would not like that. And so the way I discovered it, like I just mentioned, was through a friend at school. My family moved to a new town. I had to start a new school in fourth grade when I was 9 years old, and I had to really make new friends, and it was really difficult for me. And I made one friends with a girl, and her father was a Wiccan high priest, and he was raising her with that religion. So he was teaching her, and she kind of like turned around and taught me. Let's see, we have a question right here on the chat. Has your practice evolved in ways that you did not expect within the last year? Okay, sort of. Yes. I Last year for my birthday, I did a DNA test. I'm adopted, so I don't know my like ancestry or anything like that, and I was really curious what it would show. So I did a DNA test and I found out that the majority is Italian and then German. And then I don't remember anything else, but I remember the majority is Italian, then German. So that has really led me to be curious about looking into Italian folk magic and practices. I've been researching a little bit, but not a whole lot, and I haven't really incorporated any of that into my practice yet, but it's definitely something that I would like to do. What terms would you use to describe your particular path in witchcraft? Right now, I would say I am a solitary eclectic pagan witch. What kind of spells or magic do you lean toward? Candle, nature, grounding, crystal, etc. I like candle spells, herbs and nature stuff, crystals, and lately I've been more into sigils and creating sigils. I like that. What are areas of the craft you'd most like to explore further? Probably like I said, the Italian folk magic and also herbs and natural remedies. I know some about herbs and a little bit about natural remedies and stuff, but I'd really like to get more into that and really just learn more. What are three of your biggest influences in your practice of witchcraft? That's a hard one to answer because I'm so eclectic. I really draw from a lot of different things. I guess I would say nature is a big influence to me. Like the earth and living sustainably and all that kind of stuff is a big part of just my life in general, but also my practice. Like I try not to do things that aren't or that are would harm the earth or something like that. Um, I guess I could say in a way Wicca is a although I don't consider myself Wiccan anymore, it definitely is a big influence because that's kind of where I started. And I I'm not sure about the third one. Is there any specific traditional pagan music? Um, I don't know like traditional exactly, but some of the artists I like are S.J. Tucker, Kellyanna, maybe. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Lorena McKennett, Dan the Bard, and Wendy Rule. I like all them. Is there a common form of witchcraft that doesn't resonate with you at all? And any thoughts why that may be? I'm not a huge fan of ceremonial magic because to me it's like too complicated and too much work, takes too much energy. And I don't really like all the structure. I like being able to kind of create my own and feel more free to do my own thing. Which Sabbath is your favorite and why? Few people asked this. It's kind of changed over time and continues to. I really like Yule because I like all the crafting and the like warm, warming spices and aspect like that, baking, stuff like that. And I like Samhain. I think that's fun. So I'd say those are probably my two favorites right now. I used to really like Lunasaw, and every year I would make braided bread for that, but I haven't done that in several years just because it's not necessarily that it's hard to do, it's just a long, kind of drawn out process. You have to like do one step, let it rise, do one step, let it rise, do one step, let it rise, then finally bake it. So it literally takes like all day long. And with my chronic illnesses and stuff, I just don't have the energy to deal with that anymore. So I haven't done that in a while. Let's see. What makes you feel connected to your craft when you feel like you're going through a lot or a difficult time in your life? Definitely nature helps me feel connected. Just going outside and sitting, listening to the birds and the animals, getting my hands in the dirt, talking to my deities. And sometimes when I feel very uninspired and disconnected, I go on YouTube and I just search up some different pagan witchy videos and we'll watch some different videos. And a lot of the time that will spark inspiration and I'll be like, oh, yes, she's talking about this. That leads to this idea and this idea and this idea. And it'll kind of get that thought process going again and get me back in the saddle, so to speak. Do you prefer to be more open or more private about your practice? Um, are you in the broom closet at all? Overall, yes, I'm still in the broom closet, meaning it is kind of a secret that I'm a witch. Obviously, on YouTube, um, I say it, but not many people in my real life know I have a YouTube channel, or if they know, they don't have the name of it. So, like, my family doesn't really know I'm a witch, just that I'm pagan. And my best friend knows I'm a witch, but pretty much everyone else doesn't really know. So, yeah, as far as being more private about stuff, I am kind of more private um, with certain things. Certain things I like to share on YouTube, and I will change them slightly or share them after I've already done it so that I know it worked type stuff. Here's another question. What is gardening like as a witch? Like, do you naturally do things or say things while gardening that is in the realm of witchcraft? Okay, so, well, for one, I grow different herbs that I like to use in my practice, as well as growing vegetables and fruits and stuff that I use in kitchen witchery, like cooking and adding my intention in for different things. And also, when I'm outside working, I like to keep my garden totally organic to work with nature as opposed to against it. And not every single time, but a lot of the time when I'm out there working, I will dedicate my time working in the garden as a devotion to the goddess I work with, Gaia, who is like the Mother Earth type deity, nature deity. So I kind of just dedicate that time to her, and I will, say, I'm working on this for you. I'm taking care of the earth and stewarding the earth in your honor. What's your favorite spell to do? So there's not really any one specific spell that I would say is my favorite because I don't have one that's something that I do like over and over. But as far as types of spells, I enjoy candle spells and creating sigils. Can magic be used for purely selfish purposes, or must it always be directed towards some kind of greater good? This is really going to depend on who you ask and everyone's personal beliefs. Since you're asking me, though, I think you can do it for purely selfish purposes, and that there doesn't have to be some kind of greater good. Like, I think it's okay to do like a prosperity spell to help you and your family, or um, a self love spell to help yourself, something like that. Okay, let's see. Another question on here. Do you know if there are any sins related to evil witchcraft in the Bible? I'm no expert at all. Just Googled witchcraft for the first time, and it definitely seems like an interesting thread. And um, so, and accordingly to the dictionary, they define it as a practice of magic, especially for evil purposes. Right. So that's kind of one of those like misconceptions, I feel like. Um, I'm I mean, you can use witchcraft for whatever purpose you want, but it depends on the intention you put behind it. So I personally have never done anything for anything I would consider evil or harmful to anyone, nor do I think I ever really would. The only exception to that might be maybe if like somebody seriously did something to harm me or my family, they were like really out to get me, like something like that. I might do like a return to sender spell to like return that energy back to them, something like that, kind of like, karma bounce back. But I think most um witches and pagans, a lot of us, especially like Wiccans, it's about kind of just bettering yourself and your life, your circumstances, and your family. So, um, people do spells for things like self love, um, prosperity, helping find a job, helping protection for their home, for their travels, for their pets, stuff like that. I mean, of course, everyone's different. So some people do spells that might be more malicious, but that's not something I do personally. And I think that's a big kind of misconception from the kind of more Christian and religious-y side of it. Are there any types of magic that are considered taboo or forbidden among witchcraft practitioners? So again, that kind of depends on the person, but a lot of people I know, like pretty much everyone, I don't know anyone who would do something like an animal sacrifice, definitely not a human sacrifice. And I know a lot of people don't like love spells in the sense that they are targeting a specific individual, like trying to make a specific person fall in love with them because they feel that that is trying to force someone's free will to change. And um, they feel that's not ethical, which I do agree with that. I think if you wanted to do some kind of love spell, it would, like if I were to do it, for example, it would be more not geared at a specific person. Like I wouldn't say person X, I want you to fall in love with me, blah blah blah. I would say it would be more like I'm looking for a person who has these qualities. I want, someone who's loyal, someone who's funny, someone who this and that, and who maybe doesn't have these qualities, someone who would be steady and, you know, something like that. And then put that out into the universe to manifest, help you find the right person without thinking of a specific person in mind while you're doing it. Is it possible to use magic to heal physical ailments, or is it primarily focused on spiritual or emotional healing? So, this is kind of one of those things that's like a little, I mean, primarily, yes, it's more spiritual, emotional. You can do spells like healing spells for physical ailments, but it definitely shouldn't be your like go to. Like, you shouldn't like break your leg and be like, oh, I'm going to do a healing spell instead of like going to the doctor or the emergency room. Um, or like getting sick and doing a healing spell instead of going to the doctor. That's definitely not what you should do. But you can do healing spells to help relieve symptoms or help like put you in a better mindset for dealing with it. But like you're not gonna have like a serious illness or something and cure it with a spell. It doesn't work that way. If you could cast a spell to change one thing about the world, what would it be? I thought this was a really creative question. And I was thinking maybe make people more tolerant and less judgmental. I think that would solve a lot of problems. Or another good one would maybe be to make people more environmentally conscious of our impact on the earth as humans and li- like wanting to live more sustainably and stuff. But I think probably I do the making people less judgmental and more tolerant of others, get rid of things like racism, sexism, ableism, all that kind of stuff. Are there any crystals that are especially effective for enhancing creativity or artistic ability? My favorite to use for this is carnelian. I didn't bring it down here, but I have a carnelian stone about like that big that I keep in my office on the desk, and it's like my office slash craft room, and so I keep it in there and I'll hold it a lot or just have it right next to me as I'm working on projects for the creative energy. But some others you could use are citrine, ocean jasper, and rainbow moonstone. I'm sure there's others as well, but I don't know of them off the top of my head. Someone said, I have a lot of triple moon things in my home, but would you know more about that symbol? So the triple moon shows the waxing moon, the full moon, and the waning moon, and it represents the triple goddess, which is the trinity of the three distinct aspects or figures united into one being. It's the aspects of the maiden, mother, and crone, which symbolizes the different stages in a female life cycle. And then there's also a triple god, which I think people call the sun, the father, and the sage, but I've heard different names for them for that. How involved is witchcraft in your day-to-day life? Um, so this is sorry, I'm trying to get more comfortable. This is a little bit of one of those questions that's kind of like it is involved in certain ways, but isn't in others. Like, I don't do like big spells or rituals every day or even every month, but I do smaller things. Like, I meditate every day, I talk to my deities, I like adding in my intention into my food and drinks. I like spending out time outside in nature and gardening. I don't necessarily do that every single day, but it's pretty frequent. So those are some of the things that I do every day. I'd love to learn more about a step by step guide to everyday witchcraft. What are some easy spells or practices I could do related to time of day or spells I could quickly turn to in order to help regulate me and heal my emotional state? How do you recommend I personalize it to be more personal to me? So, one thing that's really easy to do because you can do it while you're doing something you already are doing is a shower cleansing, which is basically when you're in the shower and the water's running over you, you visualize the water washing away all the negativity, all the negative energy. It just washes it away, starting at your head, wash it away all the way down your body, and washing it all off and down the drain. And you can do it for as long as you need to until you feel cleansed. And that's something that you can really do any time of day. And you're showering anyway, so it's not something that's going to take a lot of extra time. And really, you can. I know a lot of people have this misconception that spells are something that you have to like find in a book or something and then like just follow it like as if it's like a recipe. But in reality, all spells were just written by someone for their own personal needs. And so you can write your own spells. You can change spells that are already written. If you don't have certain ingredients, leave them out, exchange them for something else, change up the wording. You can really do whatever you want to uh, do that, to personalize things like that for you. Um, as far as things related to time of day, like like I had briefly mentioned how I like to add intention into my food and stuff. Like if you stir clockwise while you're like say in the morning while you're stirring your coffee or tea or whatever it is you drink, you can like concentrate and put your intention and your energy into it. Like I'm gonna have a good day or whatever, and then drink it and fill yourself with that energy. That'd be something cool. How do you meditate personally? So, personally, what I do is I sit in a comfortable position. I have one of those eye masks that, like a sleep mask, and I wear that to kind of block out the light. And then I will put in my earbuds with some relaxing music, and I just kind of try to kind of zone out and listen to the music and visualize things in my mind. Sometimes I'll visualize myself walking through the forest or a garden space. Sometimes I'll visualize like what I would want my dream home to look like and what my garden space would look like there. And sometimes I just see like colors and stuff. Let's see, I think there's another question here. Do you have a favorite movie, TV show that, according to your perception, reflects a plausible plot about witchcraft without diminishing or ridicule too much the argument? Um, so like one that is the most realistic TV show or movie. I'm trying to think. What TV shows and movies are there? I don't know. A lot of I I think there's one called The Good Witch, which isn't it's like the lady does a lot of like herbal healing and stuff. So I think that's kind of more accurate to real life. But in all of the movies and stuff and TV shows, they always have like stuff that's just either like supernatural creatures or stuff like bringing people back to life from the dead or flying, just stuff like that that's just like totally not real. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Um, does your practice include fairies? No, it doesn't. Personally, I know some people believe that fairies are like actual little beings that fly around like little humans or whatever. I personally don't believe that. I am not 100% sure if I believe they even exist at all. But I think if they do, they're more of like an energy than they're definitely not like physical beings that could like fly up and grab something and take it and whatever, or leave you gifts or something. And so I think it'd be more of an energy, sort of similar to a deity, how like you don't see them. They're not like, you don't like see them standing there. They're like an energy that you can interact with. I think it would be something more like that. But in my practice, no, I don't include them. There was also a few non-witchy questions that people asked. One was, what is your favorite color? My favorite color overall, technically not a color, but is black. But then I also like real dark red, kind of an emerald green, or purple, like a darker purple, not a lavender color. Do you have a favorite type of food? I'm a very picky eater. So my favorite, I don't know if this is considered a type of food, but like my favorite type of food is comfort food. Like things like chicken pot pie, chicken and dumplings, mac and cheese, stuff like mashed potatoes, stuff like that. What are your hobbies outside of witchcraft? So, I mentioned before, I really like organic gardening. I like to read. I like pen paling. I make my own bath and beauty products like soaps, bath bombs, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, all kinds of stuff like that. I like different types of crafty stuff, such as sewing, quilting. I make like pretty mail art envelopes for my pen pals, creating jewelry, like these earrings I made. I make cards. I do some different holiday related crafts, like making ornaments for my um, Yule tree. Occasionally, I do like painting stuff, not like canvas, but like painting rocks or something like that. Yeah, I really like crafty stuff like that. Okay, so that's all the questions I have for now, and it's almost at the 30-minute mark. So if anybody else has any questions, let me know. And if not, I will end the stream here. Give you a minute to see if anybody's typing or something. Love the stream. Thank you, Jenna. This was really fun to do, and I hope to do another one of these in the future. Okay, another question. Has there ever been a moment in your life where you were so frustrated, upset, angry that you considered in between your teeth to use witchcraft in a more evil way towards someone who hurt you? Honestly, not really. Usually when if I was super angry like that, witchcraft would not be my first thought. It would be more, honestly, I don't get super, super angry like that, but if I were to, I hate to say this, but my first reaction would be like, "Oh my gosh, I just wanna punch that person in the face." Like, I wouldn't do that, but that would be my reaction way before like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn to, like, writing a spell and doing all this energy work and all this stuff that, comes with that. I really think someone would seriously have to do something, like, really, really, really bad to me or my family, like, literally, like, murdering my sister or something, like, horrible, horrible, horrible for me to, like, do an actual spell, like, with the intent of hurting someone else. Because otherwise, it would be, like I said, like, more of a like, they're sending me negativity, I'll just send it back to them type thing, like, more of a protection for me, send it back to them. Jenna, aliens. I don't know what that means, but okay. So we're at the 30-minute mark. So I'm going to end the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a lot of fun to do. Hope to do it again soon. And I will see you next time. Bye.